Coached by head coach Steve Miller and assisted by Troy Seeley, Tanner Metcalf, Dave Gould, and Adam Foreman. Bondurant head coach is Matt Motherland, and assisted by Chris Corey, Matt Keeper, Cole Dyke, Eddie Barker, and Blake Holliott. And now the starting lineup. Bondurant-Farrar, 160 pounds, Reed Foster. Fairfield is open. At 113, Ryder Harrison, Bondurant. Fairfield is open. At 120, Kyle Davis for Bondurant-Farrar. Fairfield is open. At 126, Max Riggins for Bondurant-Farrar. For Fairfield, Zach Westerkamp. At 132 for Bondurant, Blake Riley. For Fairfield, Casey Miller. At 138 for Bondurant, Gavin Stephan. For Fairfield, Jason Hansen. At 135 for Bondurant, for Frank Schwab. For Fairfield, Lyman Johnson. At 152 for Bondurant, Caleb Meyer. For Fairfield, Cam McLean. At 160 for Bondurant, Marcus T. For Fairfield, Wyatt Lovelady. At 170 for Bondurant, Porter Smith. For Fairfield, Matt Bolger. For Bondurant, 182, Clayton Vanderpool. For Fairfield, Carter Moore. At 195 for Bondurant, Dylan Hayworth. For Fairfield, Teddy Metcalf. At 220 for Bondurant, Quentin Bolton. For Fairfield, Caesar Swinburne. At 285 for Bondurant-Farrar, Noah Winger. For Fairfield, Terrence Craig. At this time, please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with playing of the national anthem. We're going to get started with 13 JV matches. First man up, Hunter Lyman for Bondurant-Farrar, Grady Flynn for Fairfield.
All right, welcome Blue Jay fans to Bondurant, Iowa for a wrestling duel between the Blue Jays and the visiting Fairfield Trojans. It's just a duel tonight. Patrick Meyer here with Shannon Klein. How you doing, Shannon?
I'm doing well, ready for some wrestling as we kick off the new year.
We are going to have about a dozen, I think, JV matches, or maybe a few less than that, to go before we start the varsity match, even though we just did the varsity starting lineup. So Bondurant does have a few of their typical varsity wrestlers not wrestling tonight, just with a couple extra duels going on this week. But this is Hunter Lyman versus Grady Flynn. Hunter Lyman, a Blue Jay, Grady Flynn, the Trojan, here in our first JV match at heavyweight.
You could see they're just pushing on each other, a very classic way for a heavyweight match to start. And Hunter trying to work inside. Right now he's got that left arm on the outside of the elbow. He wants to work that in, and a reason being is to play a little defense as well. Hunter had his arm on the outside, and now he's fighting back points here.
Really, there you go. He lets go, gets back to his belly because you just can't keep holding on there or you'll end up pinning yourself.
Yeah, Flynn had that inside tie position, which was he was then able to open up his offense and get in on a shot. And so Hunter now on his base, trying to work up to his feet here, and Flynn doing a good job of keeping that pressure on top.
Flynn did get the 3-point near fall as well for the 5 seconds of back exposure. So he has a 5-0 lead right now. Flynn actually a 220-pounder wrestling up, trying to maximize the number of matches we get for both teams. So
Hunter did a good job there getting his arm out. He rolled that wrist out in front and now working back up to his base. In wrestling, you want to have your 4 posts, your 2 arms, your 2 legs. You got to have those free, and you want to move. And so that's why Hunter was working those wrists out in front. He's got 30 seconds here. It'd be huge to get that escape or even a reversal before the end of the period.
Flynn working on that left wrist, it looks like maybe.
Here he's got to stand up. He's got to step that right leg up. If he could knee slide up out of that, it'd be huge to get that point. He's got that leg up.
5 seconds remaining, and I think we're going to
He's
end
up to
this.
his feet. He's got to
hard.
spin. He's got to turn into it.
Nope, not going to get it.
Nope, just a little too late. If he had about 5 more seconds, he was out.
So Flynn defers his choice, and Hunter's going to choose neutral.
Here he's got that outside position again with that right hand. He wants to be inside the elbow there to open himself up. Now he's got the left arm on the outside. So a definite coaching point for the coaches this week with Hunter is to get that inside, fight to get it to the inside with that hand. Because right now Flynn is on the inside, a lot of pressure on the head, and he has a 5-0 lead. You want to pummel out. There you go, Hunter.
Now I need to look to
now he's
set
worked
something
inside.
up with it.
Yep. Now he has that good inside position right there with that left arm on the neck. He's inside the elbow. He wants to get back to that. Flynn didn't like that feeling, and he knew that he was at a disadvantage. That's why he worked out of it there. Now Hunter's got to work back in. We always talk about pummeling and wrestling, and it's all about getting that inside position and setting up your shots.
A good hard snap down would go a long ways to getting some momentum going in your direction as well. A lot of times with the heavy guys, the bigger guys are strong enough upper body that you get a good snap and you can get something. Good sprawl there.
Yeah, really good sprawl by Hunter there. Flynn with a good high crotch and Lyman with that good sprawl.
Needs to get his hips off the mat and is not able to. Flynn pops his head out and comes around for the 2-point takedown.
And Hunter was working there. He had a really good sprawl, but Flynn just kept moving, and he was able to come out the side and finish that takedown, and now he has a 7-0 lead.
About 15 seconds remaining here in the second period. We are starting with JV matches, and then we'll move into varsity after that. If you're just tuning in, this is the first match of the JV section, so we started a little bit late. Flynn will enter the third period with a 7-0 lead, and he chooses the bottom position.
So this is actually good for Hunter here because he hasn't had the chance to work on top, so maybe we see a turn. He has a size advantage in this match. There he does a good job of breaking down that ankle and getting a lot of pressure, a lot of hip pressure there by Hunter. Just stay patient here, but he hasn't been on top the whole match, and so we can see his offense here.
Flynn did a good job getting back up to his base. Hunter's trying to lock up that cradle. I can't quite tell if he has his hands locked or not on it.
He's got it locked, but Flynn's doing a really good job of working underneath. If Hunter could just bump those hips over and maybe even sit back just a little bit, Flynn was able to break that grip, though, but a good power half here by Hunter. And that's just as good as anything. Now Flynn works that hand off the head, and Hunter going back for that cradle. He wants the cross-face cradle this time.
Minute remaining in the third period. Flynn has a 7-0 lead.
He's working that wrist out. He's getting good pressure on the head there with that opposite arm.
It's a good ride, but it's not resulting in any points at this point.
Down to 30 seconds here, and Hunter's going to need a fall to win this match. He's got a good power half right there. Flynn was able to break it, though. If he could lock that cradle up again, that would be good. But Flynn is just playing defense here, and why not? I mean, he's got a 7-point lead. He's wrestled a really good match.
He's getting off of his belly, which helps avoid any type of stalling call, and so you're doing enough enough for it to count. So Grady Flynn's going to come away with a 7-0 victory in our first JV match. And now we're going to go back up to some of the smaller guys. Justin Anderson for the Blue Jays is coming in, a junior, versus Richard Curtis for the Trojans. He is a sophomore. I'm thinking he goes by Brock sometimes, but track wrestling has him by Richard. So we'll go with Brock since that's what's on the roster. Anderson with a quick takedown, 2 points.
That was pretty awesome. That's a great takedown.
They might be a little quicker. Curtis gets the escape, 1 point there. They'll come back to a neutral position. See if Anderson's able to hit a quick takedown again.
It's a good outside single attempt there by Anderson. Wasn't able to finish it, but he's opening up his offense here, which is good. Oh, look at that headlock attempt by Curtis.
And still has a shot at...
He's got the headlock, but Anderson's doing a really good job of keeping his body close and trying to work up on top.
They haven't awarded a takedown yet. Right now they're both in a neutral position. Now he gave the 2-point takedown for Curtis. And he lets go of the headlock. Anderson's to his stomach, and Curtis has a 3-2 lead.
And a headlock is something that you practice quite a bit, so Curtis is familiar with how to set it up. And Anderson walked, kind of pushing right into him, trying to get Curtis off balance, and Curtis just caught him in that headlock. Thankfully, it was only worth 2 points and no back points with it.
Now 25 seconds, and Anderson's looking for a reversal here. Not awarded yet, but
it's going to be.
It's either an escape or a reversal, depending on what happens here. But
he's trying to run a butcher here. Anderson is, but he's got to get Curtis broke down before he can get that to work. There's the 2-point
reversal there. Now that he came around behind him, when he was out in front, it was still kind of unclear what they were going to do. So they hadn't awarded the 1 or the 2, but when he came around behind, it was a clear reversal. So Anderson gets 2 more points to take a 4-3 lead. Going into the second period, Justin defers his choice, and Curtis is going to choose the bottom position. And you'll see that a lot because if you can get the escape, you get that first point. And so usually the fastest way for someone to score in high school wrestling is from the bottom position. Anderson has that cross wrist. And as I say that, he loses it. Anderson still in control here. Curtis was able to turn just in time for Anderson to drop down into a double. It's not considered an escape and a takedown. He never lost control. It's still just part of the same ride.
Really good mat awareness there by Anderson to realize that all he had to do was tackle the legs. He was that close. He was able to do that without letting Curtis go, and so a really good job there by Anderson to understand the situation and bring him back. And now you can see he's got a nice wing off to the left side, trying to work the half.
Curtis did a real good job fighting off that wing as Justin was trying to turn him, so he switches over to the half. Curtis doing a good job of defending, so Justin just keeps switching back and forth between what type of move he's looking for.
Trying to hit a switch there is Curtis, and Anderson trapping that arm, that trail arm. A really good way to defend that as they come up to their feet here.
Anderson still in control as they go out of bounds, so Brock is still going to be in the bottom position.
Both wrestlers did a lot of really nice things there with Curtis trying to escape and get to his feet, and Anderson with the way he defended the switch and then getting up to their feet and out of bounds for a fresh start.
Curtis looked for that switch again. You can see Anderson still catching that back wrist, putting in a wing as he brings him back to his stomach.
Yeah, when you hit a switch or a changeover, either one of those things, you've got to move your arm at the same time you're moving your hips, because even that split-second difference gives the guy on top a chance to catch it. And so Anderson is aware of he can feel Curtis trying to hit that switch, and he just drops down to the wrist at that same time, and he's going to win that every single chance he gets.
So Anderson pulls off a full period ride there, goes into the third period with a 4-3 lead, and Justin chooses the bottom position.
First period, he was able to get a reversal, so we know that he's capable of that against Curtis.
Curtis with some good forward pressure, trying to keep Justin on the mat.
There, look at that. He's stepping over. Wants to get his hips back a little bit, but, man, he's got that length, and he's using it to his advantage. He's got that cross-body ride. This is going to be 2 and then some. If he can get Curtis to let go of his leg, he's going to get some back points out of there. He's got to keep his hips up. There we go. That was a pretty funky move.
Yeah.
When you have the length that Justin has, you're able to do stuff like that.
Well, and you saw when Curtis still had his hips up, there was a little bit of danger there, but then Justin was able to flatten him out, and once he got him flat, he was going over.
Yep, exactly.
Otherwise, you can get caught in that little side roll type of move. This is a very uncomfortable position if you can't tell. The shoulder is wrenched way back there. And it's just not a fun place to be.
And Justin's working to get the fall here, as every wrestler does. He's fine to just ride this out and sit there. And if you're Curtis, you're working as hard as you possibly can to get out, because you want to win the match, and also because it's extremely uncomfortable to be in that position.
Currently 6-3 on the scoreboard, but there's 3 near fall points pending, so it's technically 9-3. And Anderson's looking for that double chicken wing now with just under 20 seconds.
That's not something you get very often, and so it's neat to see when you do. And I give Curtis a lot of credit for fighting through this whole period the way he has, because he's been put in some tough situations, and he's fought till the end.
So Justin Anderson's going to win that one 9-3 over Brock Curtis.
That was a good win. Justin wrestled really well. Kind of that minor hiccup in that first period with giving up the headlock, but outside of that, he's done a really good job.
That moves Justin to 11-1 on the season, I believe. So this match is going to be for the Blue Jays, Elijah Cook, and for the Fairfield Trojans, Elijah Simmons. So you're probably just going to hear a lot of people saying, "Go Elijah," and that'll just kind of narrow it down for you. Cook, a freshman, coming in with an 11-1 record, actually. I'm not just misspeaking. Anderson now has an 11-1 record, and Cook already has an 11-1 record.
There we
it's
go.
Kind of a fluke that's came up in that order.
Cook there with a nice front headlock, immediately able to spin around behind, though. He didn't want to sit there too long, which I give him credit for, is realizing, hey, we got to move if we're going to score any points.
Looks like he has that left or his right wrist trapped.
We're going to Simmons or Simons here on the Fairfield wrestler.
Maybe Simons. There's only one M.
Okay.
Go Simons.
And if we're wrong on that, we are sorry. We want to try and pronounce everyone's name correctly, so we'll go with Simons.
We do our best, but the other thing is track wrestling isn't always right on how it has things spelled. So Cook still in control here on top. Simons working to get something moving, but Cook so far able to maintain control. Looks like he's trying to set up a cradle.
He's got it locked up. It's a matter of getting him tipped over.
And he's got a little more of the hard angle to get that cradle turned.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough position to be in.
And right now, Simons is able to convert the reversal and is getting back points.
Elijah Cook just got a little too high on that cradle. A great cradle, but he was too high on it, and that's why Simons was able to get over, get the reversal and the near fall.
So the 2-point reversal, 3-point near fall is going to turn this into a 5-2 lead for Elijah Simons. Simons defers his choice, and Cook chooses bottom for the Blue Jays to start the second period. Simons has that leg kind of hooked, which makes it a little bit challenging sometimes, but
what Elijah needs to do is get his head off the mat here first, and then worry about his stand-up, because it's really hard to make anything happen when your head's on the mat.
Simons trying to get that cross wrist. Cook's able to stand up, though. Now he just needs to settle in. Nope. Good mat return by Elijah Simons. Looking for a power half. Cook up to his feet again and secures the escape. So now it's 5-3 lead for the Trojan. 1 minute remaining in the second period.
There we
Cook in
go.
on a shot.
That's a good deep shot. He needs to keep circling, keep coming around, keep circling. He's got to pop his head out and keep circling to get the 2. He's got the head out. Now he's just got to keep moving. Simons is just hanging on here. A crossface will get the job done.
And there's the 2 points, so that ties it up 5-5 with about 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Now Cook going to look for some back points of his own.
And he's trying to lock that cradle up.
I think he has it. There he is, getting some back points now and gets the fall. Elijah Cook with the second period fall with just under 18 seconds on the clock.
He knew what he wanted. It was just a matter of time, and he finally got it. He kept trying. It's a good win for Elijah Cook.
So now coming out for the Bondurant-Farrar Blue Jays, Caleb Kramer, and for the Fairfield Trojans, Quinton Maldonado. I believe Maldonado's wrestling up a little bit. Kramer has wrestled some at 145 and some at 152, 8-9 on the season. Maldonado, I believe, is a 138-pounder, so he's given up a few pounds, but probably more than anything, he's giving up a few inches on height.
Yeah, definite advantage there for Caleb Kramer in the height department.
Good hand fight and trying to set up, get control of some wrists so you can make a easier shot attempt. You can see when they tie up, though, it looks like Caleb Kramer has a few inches of reach on him as well.
Looking for the headlock there is Maldonado, and a good trip there by Kramer.
And he gets the 2-point takedown, and they're out of bounds, so they'll reset in the middle with 1:09 on the first period clock.
He kind of caught Maldonado a little bit off balance there, and that's all about knowing where you're at and what you can do, constantly moving forward. So Caleb Kramer was in the right spot, and he kept moving, and he was able to get that trip. Instead of just kind of catching his balance and going back, he was looking for offense. Now you can see he's got that leg in on the right side on the mat. Long kid. When you have length and an advantage in length, you can start to use those legs and set things up for you. He's got a cross face here. No longer on the legs, but now jumping to the other side to get that wrist on the back. And he's going to work. He's going to work Maldonado over with that. And Maldonado, pretty scrappy there on the bottom, was able to roll through.
Wasn't quite able to catch him as he rolled, so he's holding a 2-point near fall, and there he awards it. So Kramer gets 2 more points.
He's got him over again. This time it's a little tighter. If he could get the head, he's doing a really good job under that one arm. If he could just reach up and get the head, he's moved his whole body up there. He just ran out of time. He needed like 2 more seconds.
So 3 points awarded at the end of that period for the near fall, gives Kramer a 7-0 lead at the end of the first period. Ref avoids the coin flip and is able to end up on green. Kramer defers. Maldonado is looking to coach for advice and chooses neutral.
And I like what the coach did there to give his kid a chance. You don't want to put your kid on the bottom after he's been turned a couple times, so he's putting him on his feet to let him try something. Kramer going back to his offense here. Good underhook there.
Kramer centers back and brings Maldonado with him. 1:30 on the second period clock. 7-0 lead for Kramer. I'm told our scoreboard that's normally on the screen is out, so I'll try to say it more often.
Good underhook there by Kramer on that side, and he's got the head in the right spot. If he could snap him down here, that'd be one thing to do. And now Maldonado returning the favor with a good underhook, but his head is out of position, so he's not going to be able to finish anything from there.
Clock didn't exactly get stopped on that, but they're going to slow play the start and call it even. The official clock is being tracked on a computer anyway, so.
Just gives the opportunity for some angry parents to yell.
Right. Start the clock. Start the clock. Yeah. Pretty calm right now, although I heard that Kramer's parents are a little tough to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, they can be a handful if things don't go their way. His dad especially is going to throw a fit.
38 seconds on the clock in the second period here. Kramer with a 7-0 lead. Not a whole lot of action so far in the second period. A lot of tying up and hand fighting.
So one thing that can be a challenge if you're a taller wrestler is staying in good position. And Caleb's done a really nice job of staying in position. Maldonado now with a front headlock, but Caleb just keeps moving and circling, and he really does a good job of staying where he can always score, or at least look to score. He's able to finish a takedown here at the end of the period and get his 2 points, and now he leads 9-0 going into the third.
Looked like maybe Maldonado was looking for a throw there again, and Kramer was able to settle his hips down so he couldn't get whipped over like that, and ended up coming away with 2 points. Third period starting here, 9-0 as you said. Maldonado looked like he was trying to put in a wing on that left side, but Kramer's able to get back to his base.
Look at that knee slide. That was really good. Knee slide to his feet, able to get up. Textbook. 10-0 is the lead now for Caleb Kramer. And you mentioned Maldonado looking for a throw earlier. He's going to have to try to hit something here to make a comeback, and so Caleb's got to be aware of that. Playing defense, the best defense is a good offense, so if he starts taking some shots here, that'll work out in his favor. And there was some nice shot-reshot situation. Maldonado took a shot, and Kramer worked back into him and just got the takedown and instead of trying to reset. We've seen that before with him just in this match, and now he's got that 2-on-1 on the far arm above the elbow on the triceps there. That's a lot of pressure.
Started with the crossface, almost looked like he was going to try and switch over to a butcher or something like that, but decides crossface the other way is the move. Maldonado doing a good job fighting that off right now, but Kramer looks like he's going to get that cradle locked up.
That's a tight cradle. Look at that arm trapped. He's got that arm trapped
and
above the elbow.
Be a fall.
Yeah. That's a guaranteed pin when you get it locked up that tight. That's a really good-looking cradle. 33 seconds left, so I believe that'd be 5 minutes and 27 seconds on the fall for Caleb Kramer.
All right, now up for the Blue Jays, Austin Hansen, and for the Trojans, Brody Lyons. Hansen, newer to wrestling, coming in with a 3-7 record. Brody Lyons has a 7-6 record. Lyons in on a single. And switched over to the other leg and gets a takedown for 2. Hansen up to his base again. Lyons breaks him back down.
Lyons with that tight waist and chop of Hansen's arm there.
Lyons providing some forward pressure, making it a little harder for Hansen to get back to his base. I think he was trying to pull on that arm to get him turned back to where he was facing the center of the mat a little bit more so that when he tries to work this, it doesn't result in them going out of bounds. Under a minute remaining in the first period. Lyons with the 2-0 lead over Hansen.
Now getting into a sit-out position and kind of goes back, but Austin just keeps working up there. He gets to his feet. He's got to turn into that here. Fights hands. Good job there. That's a good escape by Austin Hansen.
Did a good job fighting for hand control there so that Lyons couldn't follow him.
And right there would be a snap-down attempt. And that's something he's going to learn with time as he gets a feel. But he had Lyons' forehead almost down on the mat. Just a little snap-down and shuck him by there would have been perfect.
One shoe came untied. Actually, they both came untied. He went to tie one of them, and the official said you need to tie the other as well.
And I feel like that's maybe a penalty.
In varsity, I'm pretty sure they would call that a penalty point for not being prepared to wrestle. You got to, tape your shoelaces now.
Yeah.
Lyons with the 2-point takedown. Takes a 4-1 lead right before the end of the first. No back points or anything like that. So, end of the first period, Lyons with a 4-1 lead over Hansen. Red's option, he chooses top. So here for the second period.
Lyons puts that half in on the right side. Hansen trying to come up to his feet right off the whistle, and Lyons was able to bring him back. And now Lyons has that wrist trapped on the left side. Austin doing a good job of rolling it out. Roll your wrist free. He did that, and now Lyons in on the right side. Austin doing a really good job of continuing to work from the bottom. He was able to base up. Now he's tripoding to his feet. And he just got to keep fighting hands here. A mat return by Lyons, but Austin needs to work back up. Lyons trying to sneak a half in. He did that right at the end of the first period. Was not able to get Hansen turned, but he's looking for that half again. So clearly something that Lyons knows how to do is run a half Nelson and get a half Nelson. But he wasn't able to get any points. Austin doing a really good job of playing defense here. And he's got to turn his head away, try to peel that hand off, and work that outside leg up.
So doing all of the things you're saying, maybe just not quite to the extreme that it needs to as the kid gets a better half. You know, the left leg was out, but maybe not out as far as it could be. He's reaching up for that hand to peel it off, but maybe not quite as getting the fingers as well to control it.
Yep.
So, I think Coach is questioning if there maybe was a half or a full Nelson there. And
I could see why they would think it was that way, just because of the angle they are at. I didn't see a full Nelson, but I can see why they are thinking they saw it.
Hansen with a real good switch gets the reversal for 2. That was quick.
And there's an example of a young guy new to wrestling who has paid attention in the room to the coaches and learned a move from the bottom to get a reversal. He got his 2 points. It's a really good job out of Austin Hansen.
And then a good mat return. Hansen trails 4-3 with 22 seconds remaining in the second. But a little bit of fire from him all of a sudden.
Lyons with the stand-up and trying to break his hands free. Hansen just trapping that wrist and trying to bring it to his belly. 5 seconds to go in our period here. Lyons up to his feet, and he gets that escape.
And that goes right in for a shot, but it's going to be after the whistle. So the end of the second period, Lyons is going to have a 5-3 lead. Hansen's going to choose the bottom position, see if he can hit a quick switch like last time, and if Lyons is prepared for it.
A really good switch again by Austin. Look at that. Really good job. And that's something that he can already hit it that well. He's going to keep getting better. And we've got a tie match here with a minute and a half to go. It's 5-5 between Hansen and Lyons.
Now he does have to try to return him there or let him go, otherwise he can be called for stalling. Lyons gets the 1-point escape. Hansen takes the shot attempt, but he trails 6-5, and Lyons is going to get the takedown there at the side, and Hansen is able to pull himself out of bounds. So Lyons has an 8-5 lead, top position, and a minute 15 remaining in the match.
We didn't see that switch there, the Austin Hansen switch. Would have been a good time for it. He's got a minute left, and he's down by 3.
I was curious if he was going to be able to get it a third time. I mean, at that point, you expect the other guy to kind of know what's coming, but that doesn't mean they can stop it either. Lyons now looking for a half and trying to get some wrist control again. Hansen needs to work up. He trails by 3 right now with 40 seconds remaining.
Lyons trying to control the head and the wrist. You can see he's trying to work a power half. He's just got that forearm kind of buried in the back of Austin's head. And now he's got the half with that wrist trapped, and he's gone to that half a few times this match. And this is as close as he's gotten to getting it, and it's pretty tight. That's a tight half right there. 10 seconds to go.
And Brody Lyons is going to get the fall with 10 seconds remaining. Good match, though, for some young wrestlers. Now up Dylan Hayworth for the Blue Jays and Theodore Metcalf for the Trojans.
I think this one's Talon.
Oh, it is Talon. Oh, my bad. I read too far down. Talon Hayworth versus Blake Sebastian. There we go. Oh, Dylan's wrestling the varsity one. Let's see. Talon wasn't on my first list for whatever reason. But I didn't think he was wrestling today.
Yeah. Blake Sebastian, a sophomore, 145 pounds.
Hayworth, also a sophomore. I think Hayworth is a little bit heavier. I want to say he's up in the 152 or 160 group, but it's not actually on our roster we printed today. So Hayworth gets a good job coming around behind for 2 points. Just under a minute remaining in the first period.
Sebastian trying to wing him down there, and Hayworth doing a really good job of keeping his hips up and staying behind and in control with his 2-0 lead.
And there he goes looking for that, trying to lock that elbow up Sebastian is so that he can try and whip him over again. Sebastian went for the stand-up. Hayworth reached down for an ankle, and they both went down, and just a scramble, and at this point they're awarding no points.
And that's the right call, but that's a really fun scramble to watch.
So at the end of the first period, Talon's going to have a 2-0 lead. Green choice, Talon's going to look to coach, and they're going to say, let's defer to Sebastian for his choice, and he's going to choose the bottom position.
Hayworth doing a good job of really riding here and keeping his arms behind the shoulders, his hips back, and trying to work his offense here. He's wrestling very patient and in control. And we've seen Sebastian try to whip over and wing down on that elbow a couple times, and it hasn't worked. Hayworth doing a really good job of just staying in control right now of this match. 2-0 is his lead.
Talon looks like he's going for a cradle, but just hasn't looked to lock it up yet. Then, as I say that, there he does.
Yep, and that's identical to the cradle that Caleb Kramer had. It's that arm trapped above the elbow, and it's tight.
Sebastian able to kick out, but Talon will get a 3-point near fall as they go out of bounds. So Talon has a 5-0 lead with just under a minute remaining in the second period.
I give Sebastian a lot of credit for fighting out of that cradle because that thing was tight.
Looks like maybe he's looking for a side roll now. Hayworth has that left arm trapped. Has his hips maybe too low, but there you go. Brings his hips up.
He did a good job of working his hips up there in a little bit of a scary situation.
30 seconds remaining in the second period here with Hayworth in a 5-0 lead.
Down to 10 seconds. Talon Hayworth with a 5-0 lead. Sebastian working to his feet on the edge of the mat, and he's going to get the escape.
Just under 5 seconds remaining on that escape. So Hayworth goes into the third period with a 5-1 lead. And those are some of those coaching moments. You're like, hey, you really need to not give up a point with 5 seconds left. Whatever you can. If you guys need to run out of bounds before letting them go, run out of bounds. But you don't want to give up any points that close to the end of the period.
Yep, you're exactly right.
I mean, obviously, you never want to give up points, but
if you give it up with 20 seconds to go, you have a chance to score a takedown to kind of recoup that.
So neutral position for Hayworth to start the third period. Shot attempt by Sebastian. Hayworth fighting it off so far. Sebastian trying to suck it in. But Talon's able to break his lock and comes around behind for 2 points to give him a 7-1 lead with the 1 minute mark in the third period. Have spent a lot of time in this position overall through the match.
Yeah, they really have. Seven to 1 is our score with 40 seconds to go in this match. Talon Hayworth in the lead. Blake Sebastian, the opponent from Fairfield.
Still in the JV portion of the duel. We have, looks like 5, maybe 4 matches after this one before we start varsity section. I believe varsity's starting at 1:06 tonight. So 25 seconds remaining in the period. 7-2 lead for Talon Hayworth.
And he's probably going to get warned for stalling here, but that's okay with how little time there is.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to take any chances or do anything risky.
Good shot attempt by Sebastian, countered by Hayworth at the end. All of it after the buzzer, so no points awarded. Talon's going to come away with a 7-2 victory.
Now on the mat for Blue Jays, Hockett, and for the Trojans, Dylan Post.
Now Blue Jays, Andrew Hockett, and for the Trojans, Dylan Post.
So Andy Hockett here, he's one that, he is a really good athlete, and he's going to be somebody to watch as they continue to go through high school. A fun kid and a good one to have on your team, and a nice little athlete. So we get to see him on display here tonight. And there you got the single off the mat with a good trip and a finish.
2-point takedown. Sometimes you're at the wrong angle and you can't tell exactly what they're trying to work. I think he's trying to dig out that right arm. So far to no avail, but now he comes out to the side.
Got a cross face there. He's maybe looking for a cradle.
Which I wouldn't blame him. We've had some success with cradles tonight. Might be an unconventional angle for the cradle.
Yeah. He's definitely got it locked up. Oh, never mind. Post doing a good job of fighting the hands underneath. He's doing a really good job of keeping from getting in that cradle.
Andy's doing a good job trying to drive the head to the leg and gets the turn, and that's going to be a fall for Andy Hockett in the first period. Next up, 182 pounds, Murrah came out a little late in the season, was senior this year, and Hunter Abbott for the Trojans. So this is Cannon's first match of the season.
He's really well put together. What other sports does he play?
Cross country.
He's a runner. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He wrestled a few years ago at a much, much lighter weight. He's at the gym all the time.
Okay.
You go to the brick house over in town, he's there always.
Okay.
You can see the results of his work because I want to say he was like a 119 or 126, something like that.
Wow.
When he was a freshman, sophomore age. So I can't say he hasn't gotten taller, but that's not why he's heavier.
Yeah, he's really well built. You can see that he has worked to become an athlete, and so I'm going to guess the cross country team is happy to have him as part of that.
Hunter Abbott for the Trojans, a sophomore. .20 remaining in the first period.
And we have no score. Oh, there's a shot attempt, and then
good quick movement to come around behind and get the 2 points from Murrah.
Abbott kind of reached but didn't do anything else with it, and as he was off balance there, Murrah able to get around behind and finish that takedown and take a 2-0 lead going into the second.
Murrah choice, he defers. Abbott tried to defer as well. You can't both defer. So he's going to choose down. He looked to his coach for advice, and I don't think he saw Murrah defer to start with because he was quick with the deferral. So Abbott chooses bottom to start the second period. Cannon has a 2-0 lead for the Blue Jays. Looking to drive that half.
So right here, Murrah's riding parallel, and Abbott's kind of belly down. And a guy could warn either one of them for stalling here. Murrah doing a good job of working that wrist.
But anytime you're riding straight with them, it's a risk of you being called for inactivity.
Exactly.
But now he works him over, gets the near fall points, and that's going to be a fall for Murrah.
That's a good win. It's fun to see him out here and wrestling, and a nice win in front of the home crowd tonight.
Now 220-pound Colin Thomas for Bondurant-Farrar and Cody Burlson for the Fairfield Trojans.
Couple freshmen out on the mat for this match. Be a good experience for both of them. Thomas doing some pushing there. If he could get Burlson to take one step towards him, he could grab that leg.
Burlson goes for the shot. Thomas trying to get his leg back and does. Now needs to try to get around behind him and is unable to. They're both back to the neutral position. Checking in on the Blue Jay women's basketball team up at Gilbert. They're at half with a 31-20 lead, it looks like.
The Jays up 31-20?
Jays are up 31-20.
Hey.
It's a mega night going on up there. So after the women's action. The men's action will start.
I know Coach Anderson was nervous about the game tonight, so that's good to hear they have that kind of a lead at half.
He's always nervous about the game. Burlson gets the takedown, 2 points. He's looking to run a half, but he needs to get, now he comes over to the right side, but let's go with a half. Under 30 seconds remaining in the first period.
Now Burlson trying to work that leg, and he was having some success up by the arms. He wants to stay up by the head there if he can. The leg will come if you get the head, and Colin Thomas doing a really good job of working to get out of bounds. He wants the fresh start because it's no fun wrestling on your belly. And he's going to get it right here at the end of the first period, and the clock will run out before he gets out of bounds. 2-0 is the lead for Cody Burlson.
Red choice, he's going to choose bottom. Start the second period. Burlson has a 2-0 lead for the Trojans. Up to his feet quickly, and Burlson's able to get the escape to move it to 3-0. Got that head-to-head tie position. There's a little bit of space there if you wanted to work something. It's not quite as tight as when you put your head right in their ear, but Burlson drops down, tries to get a shot. Thomas actually had a good counter there for a second, but lost balance going backwards, and Burlson gets a 2-point takedown. So it's now 5-0 with 1:20 remaining in the second. We have one more JV match, it looks like, after this one, and then we'll move into varsity action. Just the two teams tonight, just the Blue Jays and the Trojans. Originally scheduled with the Sheraton Chargers.
Sounds right.
As well, but they had some reason for a cancellation. Burlson looking to work Thomas over. He's getting some near fall points. Thomas needs to get back to his belly. 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Thomas putting up a good fight, but is going to end up giving up the fall. So Cody Burlson's going to come out victorious for the Trojans. Now up for the Blue Jays, Tyler Vanoy. And for the Trojans, Logan Johnson. Vanoy, a freshman, and Johnson, a sophomore. Johnson taking space right now, moving towards Vanoy.
A lot of leaning into each other and pushing and shoving going on here to start this match.
So I think there must be more matches because we got other people that aren't originally listed here that look like they're getting ready to wrestle a match. And I'm assuming they're right and our information's wrong.
Well, it is a new year, Patrick, so your counter of making one mistake a year has started over. I just hate for you to do that, use that one mistake today.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is my mistake. I'm just reading the list. Johnson looking for the cradle and has it locked up.
Tyler did a good
able
job.
To break out.
Attaboy. Good job to kick out of that cradle.
So a 2-point near fall there. 52 seconds remaining in the first period. Johnson able to get back on top, and he's going to get the fall for the Trojans.
We got Landon Corey coming up to the table.
All right, so who is Landon wrestling? I feel like we saw this young man before. Is this Elijah Simons again? Or Brock Curtis?
Now the men of the Blue Jays, Landon Corey. And for Fairfield, Brock Curtis.
All right, this is Brock Curtis
Brock
for
Curtis.
the Trojans. He wrestled Justin Anderson already, and now is going to get a second match tonight. Double your fun.
And he's a pretty scrappy wrestler from what I remember of earlier. And Landon Corey's a pretty dang good wrestler. So Brock's going to have his work cut out for him tonight with his two opponents.
Corey gets the first score with a 2-point takedown.
Good reversal out of Curtis. Corey up to his feet, though, immediately. Just found himself in a bad position and got right up to his feet and did a good job. He wasn't able to get the escape, but he kept moving there.
Vincent Fine now giving the impression he has a match coming up, so we'll see what happens. 2-2 the current score here. Curtis on top with a minute 6 remaining in the first period. Landon Corey, the Blue Jay wrestler.
He's got to get his head up here and move, and he does the first part. But in wrestling, you really can't score when your head's planted on the mat. So get the head up and move, and the score's tied here for Landon Corey. 2-2 is the score.
Curtis looking for that power half. Corey did a good job getting up to his knees. Harder to run that power half when you're up there.
If he get that right knee out and up to his feet, he could knee slide out of this pretty easily. It's just a matter of telling yourself, hey, here's where I can knee slide up and out.
13 seconds remaining in the period.
Hey, there we go. He's fighting hands. He's trying to come to his feet, and he does it. It's a good job of continuing to fight and battle and get that escape right before the end of the period.
Right. Finding that way to score. So Corey goes into the end of the first period, 3-2 lead. Curtis going to have his choice. He's going to choose bottom.
Curtis choosing down, or in the down position, and Corey doing a good job of breaking him down and trapping that arm. Took one of his posts away. He's got that wrist trapped underneath. And what this does, besides keeping Landon Corey in good position, is it takes a lot of energy out of Curtis to fight this and try to battle his way back up. So for 20 seconds, he's fighting his wrist trapped underneath there, and Landon Corey was able to set up what he wanted to do next.
3-2 with a minute 25 in the second here. Corey has the lead.
Doing a good job to drop down below that ankle there and circle around. Curtis got to his feet there, and Curtis is looking to reach back and grab a leg because he wants to get his reversal here or his escape. Landon Corey doing a good job, though, of staying down around the legs, working his way up, taking his time. No points during that scramble situation that we saw where they were kind of twisted and rolling. 3-2 is the lead for Landon Corey, and now he's trying to work a cross face of his own. Lets that go. Jumps to the left side. And now on the left, Curtis comes up to his base and tries to sit out, and Corey able to catch him there. He catches Curtis, and he's looking to bring him back. If he could sneak that left arm out, he'd get him. He's got really good position here otherwise, and that arm slipped out. So he's back to square one.
That was really close to back points, but not quite there.
And now it's critical, 10 seconds to go in this period, that Landon rides him out.
Three, 2, and 1. That'll bring us to the end of the period. So Corey with a full ride for that period. And they'll head into the third period. Landon's going to choose the bottom position with a 3-2 lead.
Big advantage here for Landon Corey. He's been on top for a lot. He has a lead, and now he's able to get that escape. So he's got a 4-2 lead, and he's fresh. He's going to keep going here. Curtis, we've seen out of him just a very high motor kid who's going to continue to pressure the entire match as well. So Landon has to match that intensity. Close on that takedown. Curtis has the leg, but Landon has that crossface, and as soon as he gets around to cover the hips, he got the 2-point takedown. So 6-2 is the lead for Landon Corey, a minute 20 to go.
Looking to run that butcher. He's got that far arm up by the elbow. Curtis doing a good job so far fighting off any type of turn from that.
He's got it. It's just a matter of running it around the head here. And Curtis was able to get up to his base before Landon could do that. And so Landon did the smart thing by getting around behind, regrouping. He's got 40 seconds to go with a 4-point lead.
If we have time, we're going to attempt to restart the stream and pick up the scoreboard between JV and varsity, but we're not sure if they're going to take a break or not. So if we do have to restart the stream, it'll just be right back here at a YouTube Blue Jay Digital. But we'll keep you up to date if there's going to be enough of a break between JV and varsity to give that a shot. 15 seconds on the clock as they go out of bounds. 6-2 lead for Landon Corey.
And here's a good opportunity for Landon to practice top position, finishing a match here, and it's against somebody that he doesn't wrestle every day. It's a different opponent, so a chance for him to really refine those skills, and for Curtis a chance to get out. And Curtis did get that escape with 2 seconds to go. The final score 6-3. Landon Corey with the win.
So Vincent behind coming to the mat for the Blue Jays. And this is Elijah Simons for the Trojans for his second match. Vincent, a new wrestler this year, wanted to give it a try, and why wouldn't you?
That's exactly right.
Simons is able to get the first points on a takedown there. Has Vincent's legs kind of crossed up there. Hard to build back to your base when you're like that. And so far, Simons doing a good job just trapping that knee that's on top. If you're Vincent, you try to slide your way out of bounds and get reset. Simons recognized that and pulled him back in. I swear they can't hear us. Vincent doing a good job working back up to his base. Simons providing a lot of pressure, making it difficult. That power half. And Vincent's got to try and find some way to roll through, but he's in a really tight position. Doing a good job fighting and is able to get back to his belly. Simons gets 3 points for a near fall to give himself a 5-0 lead. 10 seconds remaining in the first period. That's going to take us to the end of the first. 5-0.
Vince is another one of these kids in that freshman class that you just love to have as part of a team. He's a culture builder. He's coachable. He's going to want to get better, and he's just another one of those young building blocks for this program that I'm sure the coaches love having him at practice every day and as part of the team.
See, looks like Hunter Lyman might be getting ready for another match as well. So who knows how many JV matches we have? Clearly not us.
I think we might be down to our final couple.
Little cow catcher action there from Simons, and he's going to get the fall. Seeing that elbow a little bit high and went for it quickly, and
that's a move that's as old as time when it comes to wrestling right there.
Down on the mat for the Blue Jays, Hunter Lyman, and for Fairfield, Caska.
All right, so this is Hunter Lyman for the Blue Jays for his second match, and he will be taking on Nick Caska. Nick's first match of the day. Nick, a senior. Hunter, a junior. The Fairfield team has a lot of 220s and heavyweight weigh-ins, so finding a way to get a few extra matches for some of these guys. And our guys. Currently, Hunter doing a better job fighting towards that inside position on his right hand. Kind of hanging with the left hand a little bit. Was one of your comments in the first match, and so maybe somebody talked to him about it a bit in between matches.
That could be.
Minute remaining in the first period. Hunter Lyman and Nick Caska. Currently don't see anybody on Bondurant that looks like they're warming up for another JV match, so this might be the final one. Hunter gets the opportunity to be the first JV wrestler of the night and the last one of the night. Ten seconds remaining in the first period. 0-0 is the score. Caska looks for a leg late and is able to get a takedown with 2 seconds remaining to take a 2-0 lead heading into the second period.
Hunter got that foot down to the mat, but he was unable to get that sprawl in time, and so that's why that takedown was there.
Lyman going to be on top, Caska on bottom for the start of the second period. Caska with the 2-0 lead. Caska up to his feet. Lyman's going to attempt to keep him there, but Caska's able to escape for a 1 point to take a 3-0 lead. A lot of pushing back and forth. Need to look to set something up once you get that opponent to step. A lot of times when you see this, you're pushing into the guy, hoping that he'll push back, which allows you to then drop down and get the leg that's coming at you. Sometimes your opponent works with you and steps back into you, and sometimes they they just keep going and wait for you to step into it. And sometimes neither guy has a real goal of taking a shot.
Well, it can be intimidating for either one to think about going under. Like, I'm going to go underneath 200 some pounds.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Caska drops into that single, is able to kind of pull him around without going underneath him, like you just said. So he gets that takedown. And Lyman up to his feet, gets the escape. Both kind of stopped wrestling. We are still wrestling. 25 seconds remaining in the second period. Caska with a 5-1 lead. Five seconds remaining in the second period. And we're going to go to the end of the second period with Caska having a 5-1 lead over Lyman. Lyman's choice. Coach is telling him to take top position.
And I like that because they're putting him in a position that he hasn't been in, and maybe he can get a turn. We've seen him on his feet, not able to get the takedown, and in the down when he was on the bottom, it was challenged to get that escape. So put him on top and see what he can do here. And there we've got Hunter, the size advantage. He's trying to lock up a cradle.
And has it,
bet.
Gets him turned. Oh, lost the grip
it was
as
there.
It went over. Yeah. But that's exactly what you're talking about. You can get that locked up like that, put yourself in a position to have some success.
Caska leads this match 5-1 in the third period. We just saw Hunter Lyman had a cradle locked up and was close to back points. So he certainly knows he can make something happen from the top.
Looking for the power half now. A minute remaining in the third period. Needs to look to get some points here. He's got that arm on his back. Gonna look to lock it up. Oh,
he had
he
that
lost
arm.
the grip, but he had the arm back. He could have maybe just lifted the head and went over with it, but I like seeing a different move worked by him. You know, so you're trying different things. You know, like you mentioned earlier in practice. You know, what are you picking up on in practice? Well, there's a move that hey, this looks familiar. Let's see if they can get this to work.
Yep, exactly.
Looking for that cradle again. 16 seconds remaining. Needs to go quick. And went for it. Lost the grip on it and ends up giving up a reversal. Caska takes a 7-1 lead as we near the end, but you were down 4. You had to go for it.
Yeah.
Good match by Caska. And that concludes the JV section. So we're going to attempt to restart the stream. We'll be right back on a new stream.